All right, let's talk about rapport. So, a couple of definitions. What is rapport? A close and harmonious relationship in which the people or groups concerned understand each other's feelings or ideas and communicate well. Another definition I found that I like better is harmonious accord or relation that foster communications, cooperation, communication, or trust. Why do we talk about this? Well, we should know that in sales, rapport is extremely important, right? Rapport, it means to get the other person to trust you or to like you, just in a couple of words. And it's kind of an issue, especially after COVID, when we have salespeople that never sold before COVID, and they're quite honestly sometimes just order takers. All they know is just take an order. Okay, what kind of car you looking for? I have these two. Do you want to buy them? Yes or no? And once we get to the market and some manufacturers already there where there are hundreds of cars in the lot, it's just not going to work in a real competition environment. That's one reason. Another is that, again, like we know about this, even old school trainers sometimes would say, if the customer says no to your offer, you should ask them, why not? Is it me? Is it the dealership? Is that the car? Well, if you're at the point when you have to ask, is it me? That means you did not build rapport. You don't have the right relationship. And the only way you can kind of get close to a sale is price, meaning losing your profit and commission. And even then, you'll have to be significantly cheaper for me to buy from you if I don't like you, right? Uh, People will pay more to buy from people they like. Obviously not if they feel like they're getting ripped off. There's a limit to everything, but everything else being equal, people just take your price, and if they don't like you, they go to the competitor that they do like, and they say, "Well, just come close to this price, and I'll buy from you." So what do we do with rapport? How do we need to think about this? So first, preparation. Just a couple of things to think about before you even get to the customer. One is understand your intention and think about what are you trying to achieve when you get into an interaction with a customer. So obvious answer like, well, I want to sell a car, right? That's what we do here. But then just think if you encounter in a salesperson that you can see that all they want is your money, your instinctive response will be just pushback, right? So if you push hard, they're going to push even harder. They're going to be on edge, on guard, and they're going to question everything you do. There's not going to be any trust. They still might buy a car. You might just pound them into it with like psychology tricks, but it's just not going to be a great sale. It's not going to be easy. So understand your intention and think, what if your intention, just as an idea, and I use this a lot always, if your intention is not like real intention, but for example, before I meet a customer, what if my intention is to make a friend? If this is my goal, right? How am I going to behave? Would the customer like me more? Yeah, chances are they will. And if they like me more, they'll make it easier for me to sell them a car. Um, so your intention, make a friend, develop a relationship, develop in trust, just mental preparation. And then think about the situation where the customer is. This is something that advanced sales, I was fortunate enough when I worked for Volkswagen, they took us to advanced sale training and they took us to a really nice hotel just so we can see what customer service can be when it's great, right? And it doesn't have to be a hotel, but anytime you have an encounter with customer service, sales, just look at this from this point of view and try to think backwards. What do your customers experience before they come to the dealership, right? What do they see on your website? What do they read about if you Google your brand in your city? What do you see on the internet? What does it take for the customer to make an appointment with your dealership? What does it take for the customer to come from two cities over to your city? Like what kind of traffic there is, right? How easy it is to park. All those things, just think about, try to get in customers' shoes because the rapport goes both ways, right? Ideally. We'll talk about this later. There's a spoiler, but ideally it's both ways. So you want the customer to understand you, but also you need to understand the customer. So understand where they come from. For example, when I worked in San Francisco, A customer would walk in for an appointment, usually, a little bit late because there's always traffic in San Francisco. It's super confusing to drive. And I would greet them. And the first thing I would say, do you guys need a restroom break? And like some other trainers did, like I told it to other people, and they said, like, that's a weird question. I'm like, no, it's not weird. I know they said it in the car for an hour and a half to get to me. They do need a restroom break, and customers were appreciative of that. So just one example. All right. So now actual pointers on how to build rapport. First, be authentic. What is be authentic? Be real. Don't lie. Definitely never lie, not on the phone, not via email, not in person. Okay. Lying, yeah, it can, you could sell cars like that. I don't think it works. Like in the long term, it's definitely not going to work. You're not going to build a clientele, a client base like that. And if your relationship starts with a lie, it'll have to be like a really difficult close. Uh, Express how you feel, right? Another way of being authentic is like, for example, if a customer is asking something and you don't know, you can say, you know what, I feel embarrassed. You kind of stumped me. I don't know, but I know where to find out. So let's find out together, right? Just show them they can feel how you feel, but if you also express how you feel, now they tie two and two together. Now they trust you more because you're not lying to them, right? It's that simple. Be friendly. Number two is be friendly. Body language, welcoming body language, meaning open hands, not hands in your pocket. I had to learn not to stand like this, right? To force myself. And I never did this once I realized it with customers. Always open hands, not in the pocket, not in the back, right? I'm not hiding anything. Uh, a little bit of a distance, personal space, respect that. Welcoming, give them permission. We as humans, right, have the tendency of being a little bit territorial, especially men. So, oh, you come to my dealership, this is my dealership, this is my territory, right? You have to ask my permission to get into the car. You do what I tell you to do. So it's not really friendly, right? It does not build cooperation and trust. Instead, just let them know, hey guys, welcome. This is open environment. If you'd like, I'll escort you to show you around. But if you feel like walking around on your own, just let me know which car you want to open. Anything you want, just feel free to do whatever you feel like. Give them options, right? Same. My one of my per, favorite things is to give alternate choices. So alternate choice. Hey guys, welcome. Would you like me to escort you around, or do you want to just do a round and then come and ask some questions? Like whatever you feel. um, Avoid negativity, right? So any conversation with a customer, if you start fighting and arguing, they're going to start fighting and arguing back. That's just the reality of any conversation in politics and relationships and marriages with kids, right? So if you have to compare to a different brand, well, both brands have advantages and disadvantages. There's a reason people buy a bunch of, their Mitsubishis on the road and Land Rovers on the road and Teslas are on the road, right? So there are reasons, and talking it down is just provides the wrong vibe, right? It doesn't feel right to the customer. They're gonna like they say, well, of course, he's knocking down the other brand. So can we trust him with anything he says? So avoid negativity. Articulate the pain points before they tell you. So, for example, like I said from the beginning, understand their feelings. So think, what is it for a customer to try to figure out how much the car is, right? How difficult it is. How difficult it is to pick between different models, how difficult it is, like if somebody wants a highly desirable car, I understand how hard it is to get any information about that and express that. Something like, well, yeah, oh, you picked this new minivan. Yeah, I know this is a really difficult situation. Must have been hard for you guys to find it. Something like this. Or, oh, yeah, you have concerns about reliability. I totally understand. Or concerns about cost. So think about what these customers feel and articulate that before they tell you. That's, that then they will feel like, oh my God, this guy gets me, right? He gets me. He's honest. I can talk to him. Now, really detailed things about a rapport. So to build rapport, you have to observe. What do they drive? What do they wear? And even just small things like, once you get their information, where they live, their phone number, the area code, the email address. I talk about this a lot with when I train internet salespeople. You can tell a lot by a person by just reading their email address, right? Unless it's totally random or just their name, which is really boring, like my email address, uh, then you really cannot do much. But if it's work email address, that tells you a lot. If it's AOL.com, that tells you a lot about the customer. If it's there's something in the name you can grab. Same as like if you see their car and there's a vanity plate, that's not only it's an opportunity for you to talk about this. There's an opportunity for you to kind of like a little bit pat their ego because if somebody has a vanity plate or some special email address, it's something that's important to them. And if you talk about something that's important to me, of course I'm going to like you. That's just automatic. And I had this experience. I was visiting a dealer for training, driving in my car, personal car, and I have in the back, I have a little Ukraine flag sticker. And there was a guy that was standing outside waiting for ups, and he caught it in a second. And first thing he told me, "Hey, are you from Ukraine?" Something. So immediately I already feel like this is a guy that's paying attention. He said something about Ukraine that just made me feel nice, and it just works. I wasn't a customer, right? It still works, and I still remember this guy. So really professional, and nice kid. Practice active listening. Make an effort to listen, absorb, think before you respond, right? You don't have to spill out information. You don't have to be ready and just blurt out all the technical knowledge that they ask you. This actually shows that you lack confidence if you're trying to hide behind product knowledge. Instead, it's okay to ask them to repeat, ask them like, what do you mean by that? Think about how to respond. Tell them, you know what, that's a good question. Let me think about it. This is actually interesting. So just think about this and elaborate. Just ask more questions, right? Anything based. So like you're not gonna start trying to build rapport like old school rapport. I had a manager that did this. Like his hobbies were sports, right? Baseball and football. 49ers, Giants. Tattoo 49ers here, Giants here, right? This was his shtick, right? So everybody, he would try to get something that he can push this conversation to sport. But you have to be careful about that too, right? And I caught him sometimes. They're just like, well, are you into sports? That's kind of like too obvious, right? But if you see something on their car, there's a sticker or the license plate, something about like the frame is about, your sports team. That's how you can get into it. I noticed this. So are you into sports? Me too. Blah, blah, tough season, right? So both observe and active, listen actively. Like another thing, I had a salesman that his thing was he would ask, oh, where did you go to college? Well, that's what he was used to. That's how they taught him selling real estate back in the 70s. But right now, like you ask a young kid, like, where did you go to college? Like, how is this relevant? But if you hear something, if you see their area code, they're from somewhere else, now it gives you permission to talk about this and build on that. So now, like, if you find something like this to build common ground on sports, location, education, job, once you find something like this and there's a real way to get into it, then it works. It cannot be gimmicky, right? So if you just start jumping into sports, that's gimmicky. You can, if you've seen Curb Your Enthusiasm, there's an episode when Larry David tries to sell cars, and all he does is he asks the person for their name, and then it says, "Oh, that's my mom's name," or "Oh, your name is Archie, my sister's name is Veronica." So just like really tacky way to try and just to grab on something. It has to be a little bit more nuanced, but if you do this right, it works. And to do this right is just again being observant and then speak on it. All right. So other than just trying to find common grounds, compliments are a huge thing. And compliments can work on anything. The only thing, it has to be authentic and it has to be real. Okay. And you really have to believe it. Also have to be careful, right? Like if a good looking woman comes in, and don't give her compliment on the figure, right? But something like purse, Nails, a nice car. Car is a great way, right? Anything they drive in, anything, give them compliment. If you really feel that, you like whatever that model they're driving, you can talk about this. Compliments, I don't know, they did some kind of research. Find something to give a compliment. Everybody loves pat on the back, right? Again, I work with a lot with internet sales, and I did mystery shop for a big chunk of dealers, and everybody responded with like dealership name or the model name or like really basic subject. And one dealership had the subject that said, "You have great taste." Now, I'm a fake person with a fake name, and still it worked on me. It was just amazing how it works, right? So just small compliments, and then like again, they ask about specific model, tell them, great choice, great taste. This is a popular model. You did a good job. Um, so once you can build some rapport, you have to calibrate it, right? Now you kind of like build in the relationship, and now you can go into like the neuro-linguistic programming (NLP) territory, where you can dial it. So now not only you have that information that you can play and build common ground and get them to trust you, but also now you can feed back on their communication style, their tone of voice, rhythm of speech, body language, the way they stand. Like, do they stand directly in front of you or they're a little bit sideways, right? If they sit like this, you sit like this, right? Uh, Repeat the words that they say, right? They have a specific phrase that they repeat a couple of times. Use that in your speech, right? But again, this is already like rapport to next level, to the NLP level. All right, so this is all great in person, right? Because we do want to build rapport in person. We do want them to come in. This is our best chance to show them we're a real person, to get them to like us, and not being just like, we're social animals. We used to people we know, and we kind of like vary of the people that we don't know. We're kind of not scared, but we're a little cautious with them. So there's actually a trick where you can build rapport one way remotely, right? And this is something, again, this goes more to the internet sales, but works with everybody. And this is another thing that I teach salespeople a lot is build rapport one way. You can build that trust one way. They don't want to come in, right? For whatever reason, they're scared of us as salespeople. They don't want to talk to us because they're busy or they don't like being on the phone. They want information, right? But if you can get them to see you as a real person, that trust will build itself. The basic thing, put your picture in the email. Put your picture on the signature. Have like instead of just a business card, have a digital business card that you can just text them. And that digital business card will have your face. This is the simplest thing you can do. Next level, if you can watch them, if you can get them to watch a video of you doing whatever that is, this will build rapport for you remotely. This is how we develop this imaginary relationship with celebrities, right? If you're into sports, you know the starting players on your team, you know everything about them, you know where they live, you know their hobbies, you know their history. You really know these people. You like them, you trust them, right? You trust them to bring your team to whatever final Super Bowl. You can get that the other way with your customers if you provide them content in the form of a video or social media. If you have like an Instagram account that you're fine with sharing, or Facebook or whatever, include this in your signature. My thing was videos. I would produce content in form of videos, test drives, explanations, and whatever it is, what matters was that they would see my face like you see my face right now in the video, right? I don't know you. I've never met you. Probably not going to meet you, statistically, not going to meet any of you in real life, but you feel like you already know me, right? Because you watching my face for a few minutes and rapport is being built automatically. So use that. This is a hack that you can use in internet sales, and it's going to help you get people in, get them to trust you, close deals quicker, easier, with more growth. Thanks for watching.